Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. All right. So this is gonna be a quick test of a new format. So I will try to record my Memoji face while recording a Blender tutorial. So this way I can have my hands and my face kind of privately protected. In the meantime, I can also look at the computer monitor and work on Blender. So here, this is Blender 2.79. If we go to splash screen, we can see this is Blender 2.79, and this is like the one that I've been using and many Blender artists has been using for maybe the last 6-7 years. And this one is Blender 2.8 alpha. Remember, this is still alpha, it's not even beta, so the Blender developers are still working hard on this one. But it's a nice transition from this guy to this guy. So we can have a look at this. So with Blender 2.79, when you first open Blender, you will see this interface. And as usual, you have this 3D camera. You have a camera, you have this default cube in the 3D scene, you have the grid, and this is the default lamp. And you have this outliner on the side and this property panel, and then this is the extra side panel that you can use. There's all kind of tools that's actually put on this panel. And you also, if you start to left click, you will see this is a 3D cursor. Left click is not for selecting, right click is for selecting. You will understand why really quickly. So let's switch back to Blender 2.8. So this is the new Blender. We are transitioning from 2.79 to 2.8. Similar thing, you have this 3D cursor, you have this lamp, you have this camera, and you have this default 3D cube. The different here, you also have this scene collections, and there's a collection here. And on top of that, you have all kind of interesting interface over here. I don't know what this one is called, but this one allows you to switch from the top view, front view, and then right view, and then back to origin very quickly. Okay, currently we need to do this in order to go back to this view. So, but that's how you work about doing all this. And you are basically in the object mode. And let's see if we can start to generate some objects. In 2.79, you can put the 3D cursor anywhere, and you can start to place like a monkey head, maybe a cone, maybe icosphere, and yeah, that's how you do it on 2.79. On 2.8, you seems to have less menu here, unless I need to kind of try to move this thing around. You add an object from here, add mesh. So that's the torus, add a mesh, monkey head, and you can also add text object. And once you have an object, you can of course rotate it. I'm using hotkey RX because I already know how to do it. Normally you probably want to go to this panel and then rotating it this way, but this is like the slower way to do it. But it's okay if it's first time you are using Blender. This is actually totally fine. With the text objects and all kind of objects, you have different ways to interact with the objects. In this case, you want to go to this text object properties, and then you want to maybe start to change the text property here. So there's depth, okay, there's resolution, extrusion. It's slightly different from 2.79, but it's interesting. And yeah, so you can also change the font over here if you want to change it to, I have a different font over here, I think. Where is it? Okay, font Pacifico. So this is a better looking text, and you hit tab in order to edit it. So that's one way you can change the font. All right. With Blender 2.8, there's also apart from the UI interface difference, it is also have different type of rendering. By default, it's set to Eve, but there's also OpenGL and there's cycles. We're gonna use Eve for now. And with Eve, we have all kind of different interesting layout, like this shading, random color for shading, the usual matte cap with the random color applied, the matte cap. There's also cavity. We can choose a different type of matte cap. Some of them actually seems to work with the color. This is very neat. And Eevee is actually very cool because it's like a new type of rendering in Blender that respect a lot of material. So it is like a real time, really fast, and you can also use a lot of very complex shader. So this is a spacebar command. There's a lot to learn actually in Blender. But anyhow, that's just a quick test. So I will stop recording, and there you go. Thank you.